Before we jump into today's video, I just want to let you know that this is part 2 of a story. If you haven't seen the first part yet, I strongly recommend you go check it out first, as it'll help you understand what's going on. I've included a link to part 1 in the description below, so feel free to click that and catch up before continuing with this video. Yuria was scrolling through her phone when she came across a post that caught her eye. It was a photo of Miko and Hana, taken by Hana herself, that had gone viral. Yuria quickly realized that Hana had a hidden talent for photography, and she saw an opportunity to use it to her advantage. Excited by her discovery, Yuria invited Miko and Hana to a special place where they could take amazing photos. Miko was apprehensive, but Hana's enthusiasm and extra snacks made it hard to say no. As they headed out of town, Miko's bad feeling only grew stronger. Finally, they arrived at their destination, an old tunnel rumored to be haunted. Yuria was confident that Miko would be too scared to go through, but to her surprise, Miko remained calm and collected. Hana walked in first, and the ghost started to emerge. Miko had a stone stuck in her shoes, so she pulled a stone out of her shoe and tossed it away. She stumbled and slapped the floor with her hands before dusting herself off. Yuria watched in a way as she misunderstood that Miko had thrown a charm and put up a barrier. But Yuria was not deterred from her plan. Suddenly, a bigger ghost appeared and started to eat the other ghosts. Yuria thought that Miko was exorcising them as she couldn't see the big one. She tried to do it herself, but gave away the fact that she could see the ghosts. The big one thought she was talking about it and lost its mind, attacking them. Miko quickly pulled Yuria out of harm's way. The 2 cat spirits from the shrine appeared and defended them. They indicated that it was Miko's first save, and the bigger spirit told her she had 3. After the stressful experience, they headed home for some cakes. Yuria was impressed by Miko's abilities and vowed to find another way to get revenge. As Miko and Kyushuka were shopping for their mother's birthday present, everything seemed to be going well. They had found a dress that Miko was even going to try on, since she was a similar size to their mother. But as she stepped into the changing room, a ghost appeared, causing her to keep the dress on and forcing them to find another present. They settled on a pair of his and hers mugs, which turned out to be well received. However, on the train ride home, a terrifying ghost appeared and walked down the line of passengers, swinging an axe and chopping at their heads, one by one. Miko watched in horror as the ghost made its way towards her and Kyushuka. She thought about moving, but when a man reached for his phone, the ghost relentlessly attacked him before returning to the line. Somehow, Miko managed to maintain her composure, although she made Kyushuka get off a stop earlier than usual as she needed to buy new undergarments. The next day, Miko and Hana were walking with their teacher, who was about to go on maternity leave. However, a small white cloud floated beside her, reaching towards her belly. Miko didn't know what to do, but eventually decided to tell her to take care and not do anything too stressful. The teacher revealed that her first child had died before birth, and this time felt different. Miko realized that the ghost was the teacher's first child, watching over them. The following morning, Miko and Hana met their new teacher, who looked awfully familiar in a bad way. It was the man who had come to collect the cat from them that Miko had refused. He stood at the front of the class, surrounded by angry cat ghosts. It was not a good development. The school day begins with a new teacher introducing himself and calling out attendance. Hana thinks she recognizes him, but can't quite place where she knows him from. Miko, on the other hand, remembers him all too well and hopes Hana doesn't figure it out. As they sit in class, something strange happens. Miko feels like something is following the teacher around. She even sees a figure behind her saying better not look. Is it a warning from a helpful ghost or a threat from a possessive one? Miko can't handle the stress anymore and starts crying. She can't bring herself to tell her friends what's wrong, claiming that a bug flew into her eye. In an attempt to bring some normality back to their lives, the girls decide to visit a donut shop that is putting on a Halloween event. They plan to survive the haunted house and win 20 donuts. Hana screams at everything, while Yuria tries to stay brave. Miko, on the other hand, starts to realize that the monsters are just people in costumes and it's safe to scream as much as she wants. But things take a turn for the worse when she mistakes a real ghost for another costumed monster. The other monsters come to their rescue and chase the real ghost away. Miko takes this opportunity to yell at all the ghosts to stay away from her. It was meant for the real ghost, but everyone stops for a moment. They then run out and get their donuts, relieved that they made it out of the haunted house in one piece. Miko was sitting in class, trying to focus on the lesson, but it was hard to concentrate with the large ghost moving between the desks, sneering at anyone who looked at Sentuno. She tried to ignore it, but there was something strange about the whole situation. The ghost even entered Zen's body at one point, which reminded Miko of the incident on the train. She thought about telling the ghost from the train about it, but how could she even manage that? Miko was struggling to keep it together when Zen asked her to continue the reading, and the large ghost yelled at her not to look at him. She was fighting back tears, and that drew Zen's attention. As he got closer, the ghost became even angrier. Just then, Hana's stomach rumbled, and she asked to go to the nurse's office. Miko rushed to help her, finding the perfect excuse to leave the classroom. Yuria saw them walking past and followed them. In the nurse's office, Yuria let slip that Hana was probably being drained by the ghost attached to the new teacher, but Miko was sure she couldn't see the big one. Maybe Yuria could explain Hana's spirit energy, but Yuria thought she was in trouble and ran off. After school, Hana and Miko went to a park for something to eat. Miko noticed that ghosts were everywhere, but she accidentally waved at one that looked like a boy holding a balloon. It realized she could see it and rushed to attack her. The two spirits appeared and saved her before telling her that was her second time. She had just one left. Hana is going through a tough time with the increasing number of cat spirits around her new teacher, Zen Tuno. Miko is worried about her friend and decides to take action. She follows Zen home after school, trying to stay hidden from the big ghost. Miko considers letting the divine spirits deal with Zen, but she doesn't want to risk something worse showing up. She watches as Zen crouches down to pet a cat under an underpass. Miko decides to scream to scare him off, but Zen recognizes her from before and demands answers. She takes the cat and runs, with Zen chasing after her. However, their chase comes to an abrupt halt when the cat runs into the road and a car is coming. Zen races into the road to save the cat, but ends up in the hospital himself. Miko stays by his side, and they clear up the misunderstanding. Zen had been trying to find the person responsible for hurting the cats, but he kept finding them too late. Miko talks to Zen's friend and discovers that the ghost haunting him is actually his overbearing mother. Miko knows what she has to do, even though it terrifies her. She goes back to Zen's room and suggests he adopt the cat he saved. Zen hesitates, but Miko is convinced he loves cats. She then tells Zen's mother to set him free, which causes her to freak out and chase after Miko. After battle, Miko had finally defeated the spirit haunting Zen, but the aftermath left her feeling uneasy. She returned to Zen's room to find him confused about what had just happened. Hana and Yuria arrived to check on them, and while Zen apologized for the incident, Miko's emotional state remained a mystery to them. She noticed Zen was now free from the cat spirits, likely freed by his mother's departure. With things seemingly back to normal, Zen finally found the cat killer but discovered a bizarre quirk of his neighbor. Meanwhile, the godmother received a mysterious letter containing a photo of Hana and Miko, leaving her feeling concerned. Feeling uneasy, Miko visited the divine beings at the shrine to offer her thanks. However, they seemed unimpressed with her offering and closed in on her, with the large god taking on a terrifying form. Miko woke up the next day questioning whether it was all just a dream and worried about the wrath of the divine spirits. She knew she had to make amends with a better offering. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of the story. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's happened so far, so please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to my channel to help me reach my first goal of 100 subscribers. Your support means a lot and helps me create more content like this. Thank you for watching.